What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Alex Zarfati, and this is a channel that talks all about filmmaking. And today we're going to be talking about this interview that I shot.
Mr. Samuel, can you hear me clearly? We cannot get you. I hope you're okay on your side.
Okay, so once again, good morning. Okay, so once again, good morning.
You, Mr. Samuel?
Okay, so once again, good morning.
How is it now?
It is perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir. Thank you, and
Mr.
sorry for
Samuel?
that. So I will start my presentation, and the first slide you can see that when you hear of debt, so that is any confirmed tax liability or penalties or interest that remain unpaid after the due date. For example, when you hear an income tax resident individual, for most individuals, for all of us. So if you fail to file a return after the due date, you will incur a debt. So can go to the next
Mr.
slide
Samuel,
where they are.
sorry.
Yes.
There are requests on my side for you to
Yes.
please be audible. Kindly be
Okay.
audible for the taxpayers to get to understand tax amnesty. You might
Okay.
just try and the volume on your side.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
So okay, sir. Welcome. So when you hear about debt, debt is any confirmed tax liability that remain unpaid after the due date. For example, for most of us, we have income tax obligation, whereby we are supposed to file the returns after the due date, after the end of the accounting period. And we normally find, for example, income tax, the period starts from January to December. So all of us, we are supposed to file the returns after December. So we only have 6 months to file the returns. So when we fail to file the returns, so we incur a penalty. So when you hear about tax amnesty, all what you need to know is what is tax amnesty, and when you hear about who qualify for the tax amnesty and who do not qualify, and when you hear about how do you apply, how do you get the amnesty, and when you hear about where do you go for assistance in case you want to know more about amnesty, where do you get guidance, and when you hear about when is the period this program is supposed to cover, and why was it introduced, why was the amnesty introduced. So we'll get to know more in the next slides. So what is tax amnesty? So the Finance Act 2023 introduced Section 37E to the Tax Procedures Act, which grants tax amnesty. The amnesty program grants taxpayers relief from penalties interest, and fines based on prescribed conditions that come with the programs. So this was introduced in the current Finance Act, because all of us, you are aware that the section that used to grant waiver, section 89, subsection 6, 7, and 8, that allowed the commissioner to grant the waivers, was deleted by the Finance Act. Hope I'm audible. So
Yes, you
next,
are.
okay. Uh, so continuation. The amnesty applies to penalties, interest, and fines for all taxes administered under the Tax Procedures Act and tax periods.
Samuel, sorry to interrupt. Are the slides moving? Are you moving the slides from your end?
Yes, I can see.
Or we're only stuck on one slide?
So the first one.
All you need to know.
Okay, so all you need to know.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, are you seeing the third slide?
What's the third slide? No. Can you click on the third slide?
This one, the Finance Act 2023.
No, it's not moving. Kindly check on
Okay,
that. Yes.
okay. What about now?
No, still it's not moving.
Okay, so I think I have a, okay, so let me fix the problem and then come back.
Okay.
And sorry for that. Sorry for that. Is it okay now?
Yes, right now we can see the third slide.
Okay, so the third slide. So the Finance Act 2023 introduced Section 37E to the Tax Procedures Act, which grants tax amnesty. The amnesty program grants taxpayers relief from penalties, interest, and fines based on prescribed conditions that come with the program. As I was saying, that this amnesty was introduced since the waiver, Section 89, that used to grant waivers, was deleted from the Act. So now currently you cannot apply any waiver. So what you only need to know is whether you qualify for the amnesty and the current penalties you are supposed to pay. So continuation, the amnesty applies to penalties, interest, and fines for all taxes administered under the Tax Procedures Act and tax periods prior to 31st December 2022, with the exemption of the following. One, the penalties imposed under Section 85 of the Tax Procedures Act 2015, which is tax avoidance penalty, and all penalties and interest relating to tax debts accrued for the period after 31st December after 2022. So this one, what you are supposed to know is
Excuse
that
me.
the
Sorry.
amnesty is covered
Excuse me.
up to December 2022. So if you have any
Excuse
debt,
me. Sorry
yes,
for the interruption, Mr. Njuguna.
yes,
Kindly try and increase the volume on your side. I do
okay,
believe it's the settings on your side, and also your slides are still stagnant. So kindly try and also
okay,
work on that side. Thank you.
okay. So now can you see the next slide?
The settings you can actually check on the presentation mode
Okay,
for you to just click enter as you're moving to the next slide.
okay.
Sorry about that, Mr. Hillary. Our apologies.
So
We are working on it.
can you see our next slide?
No, we cannot.
Okay. Hello.
Good morning, taxpayers. Our apologies for the technical hitches. We are now back. I hope you can see the screen. And Mr. Njuguna, kindly confirm if you can hear me clearly on my side and kindly get to proceed. Thank you. Thank, thank you, Reinhard. Thank you. We are really trying to work the technical hitches. Thank you for your patience and our apologies once again. I hope you can see the screen. I hope you can see the screen
Sorry for that.
and we can actually hear Mr. Njuguna loud and clear. Thank you.
Sorry, sorry for that. We can continue. The Finance Act 2023 introduced Section 37E to the Tax Procedures Act, which grants tax waivers. The amnesty program grants taxpayers relief from penalties and interest and fines based on prescribed conditions that come with the program. So, and this one I was saying that Section 89 of the Tax Procedures Act that used to give the commissioner powers to grant waivers is now deleted. So now you cannot apply for any waiver. So what is provided in the law is this amnesty. So I can go to the next slide. So is it clear? You can see the next slide. So the amnesty applies to penalties, interest, and fines for all taxes administered under the Tax Procedures Act and the tax periods prior to 31st December 2022, with the exception of the following. One, the penalties imposed under Section 85 of the Tax Procedures Act 2015, and these penalties are tax and avoidance penalty. So all penalties and interest relating to tax debts accrued for the period after 31st December 2022. So this one section, it's only the penalties that are under Section 85 of the Tax Procedures Act, and if the commissioner has applied a tax avoidance provision in assessing a taxpayer, the taxpayer is liable for a tax avoidance penalty equal to double the amount of the tax that would have been avoided, but for the application of the tax avoidance provision. So I hope that one is clear. And the second one, so all penalties and interest relating to debts accrued for the period after. So if you have any debt after December 2022, so that is from January 2023 onwards, so that one will not qualify. So any penalties or any interest or any fine will not qualify for the amnesty. But all the other penalties prior to December 2022, so those one will qualify for the amnesty. And what you need to know is to make sure that you have filed all your returns up to December 2022 and pay all the principal amount that you did self-assessment. So I can go to the next slide. So the next slide is why tax amnesty. So why was it introduced? We acknowledge how stressful having tax arrears can be. We also acknowledge the anxiety from constantly accruing penalties and interest on unpaid taxes and not knowing where to start. The tax amnesty program presents a unique opportunity for you to remedy or treat any past tax concerns, and provision in the law for the waiver applications was so this one. So the tax amnesty was introduced first, as I have said, that the waiver application was repealed, and now you cannot apply any waiver. And also it's a unique opportunity, because I know most of us, most people, most companies, they have been having an issue with the penalties and interest and not knowing what to do. And some, it was not your fault, because for example, if my majority of the students, they normally take PIN for the purpose of, or just maybe you just applied for a PIN to do something, or you are trying a business and it didn't pick, but you forgot to file your returns. And you are supposed to know that anytime you register a PIN or an obligation, so you are supposed to be filing your returns after the end of your accounting period of income tax or for VAT and pay, you are supposed to do your returns monthly. So sometimes you forget to file your returns and you incur a penalty. So this is a unique opportunity for you. So if you have been having the issue, you are supposed to come and we are going to assist you. So when you hear about when, so this is the period in which this amnesty is supposed to cover. And the tax amnesty commenced on 1st September 2023 and runs up to 30th June 2024. So this program has been ongoing since September, and majority of Kenyans have qualified, have benefited from this initiative, and still it's ongoing. But we only have 5 months remaining. So we just need to know we are running out of time. So you are not supposed to wait until June so that you can come. So it's up to you. Are supposed to try and benefit as early as possible to avoid last minute rush. So we continue who qualify for the tax amnesty. So taxpayers with the principal tax for period prior to 31st December 2022 qualify for the amnesty. So you are supposed to clear all your principal amount. So if you don't have any principal amount as at 31st December 2022, you are supposed to qualify for this amnesty. So, and the second one, taxpayers with the principal tax owing for period prior to 31st December 2022 shall submit application for tax amnesty and propose a payment plan to clear the outstanding principal tax before 30th June. So this one I will take through on how to apply. So if you have any principal amount and you want to apply for the amnesty, I will take you through the step and step on how to do it in iTax. So on how the amnesty application form will be availed in the iTax system. So the system shall allow you to propose a payment plan to clear the outstanding principal tax for the period prior to 31st December 2022. So, and the amnesty shall be granted for periods where the principal tax is paid in full before 30th June 2024. So for this one, it's you're supposed to do it online. You're supposed to apply and make and request for a payment plan. And all you need to know, you're supposed to make sure you clear all your outstanding principal amount before 30th on or before 30th June 2024, because after which you will not qualify for that amnesty. So on where, so you're supposed to visit your tax service office or any other or any of our offices countrywide for any assistance you may require. And for more information, you can see our guideline, the guidelines on tax amnesty. They are available in the KRA website. So if you click on KRA website, you can get the guidelines on how to get that tax amnesty. So, and also what you need to know, you are supposed to update your contact details in iTax to receive communication from KRA. So you are supposed to make sure that your email is correct. You're supposed to make sure that anytime you change your contact, you are supposed to update us so that you can get the communication from us. And other considerations, you are supposed to submit all tax returns in all your registered obligations for the period prior to 31st December 2022. So for this one, you are supposed to make sure that I know majority of there are majority who have not filed the returns, but this is one of the conditions for you to qualify. You are supposed to make sure you file the returns up to date. So, and if you file your return, obviously you are supposed you will get a penalty because if a return was supposed to be filed 2022 and prior, so all those are late filing returns, and for individual there is always a penalty of 2,000 per year, and for the companies there is always a penalty of 20,000. So for you to benefit, you are supposed to make sure that you submit all your returns up to date. Then the second point, you are supposed to make correct tax declarations and pay any principal taxes due by 30th June 2024. So this one is clear. We have explained this one, that any principal amount that relate to the amnesty period that will be due after 30th June 2024 will not qualify for this amnesty. And then the other point, you are supposed to set up a resolution of tax disputes before 30th June 2024 and benefit from the amnesty. So if you have undergoing dispute, for example, maybe your case may be in a ADR process or IRO, so or maybe you have a case in court, any dispute, and any dispute here comes whereby you are not satisfied with the decisions of that is made by the commission. So if, mostly it's additional assessment. So if you are not satisfied with any assessment that was made by the commissioners, you are supposed to engage this dispute program, and you are supposed to make sure that you settle the dispute before June 2024 for you to qualify for the amnesty on penalties and interests that have accrued. And then the other point is you're supposed to hasten reconciliation of erroneous entries in your ledger by submitting all requisite documents in good time and benefit from the amnesty program. So this one, so if you made payments and they were not captured in the ledger, so you are supposed to make sure that you bring all the documents as an evidence that payment was made so that we can capture it. And this one, it's only capture for the principal amount, and so if a principal amount is captured, so going to have interest and penalties qualifying for that amnesty. All these relate to period December 2022 and prior. So you can contact us on the telephone numbers that you can see on the screen. You can also email us on call center at kra.go.ke. I think I'm done with the first presentation. So I don't think you can allow me to go to the second one on step by step, and then we do questions and answer later.
Samuel Njuguna, are you
Yes,
okay with
yes,
the side?
yes.
Okay.
Is it clear from your side?
Can you maximize it?
Okay. Let me try to maximize it.
Also, please be audible.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Welcome. Iko sawa? Okay. I hope it's clear now. From your side, you can confirm it's visible.
Yes, it's visible. Thank you, Mr. Samuel.
Oh, okay, welcome. So I can continue, and all you are supposed to be keen on this, because this one will guide you on how to make an application in iTax. So I can start with the introduction of the step-by-step guide on amnesty implementation on iTax. So the Finance Act 2023 amended the Tax Procedures Act 2015 by introducing a new section 37E, which provides for the commissioner to refrain from recovering penalties and or interest on tax debt where a person had paid all the principal tax due before the 31st December 2022. So in addition, where all the principal tax due had not been paid before the 31st December 2022, a person shall apply to the Commissioner for an amnesty of interest on penalties on the unpaid tax and propose a payment plan for the outstanding amount. So I hope this one is clear. You only apply for the amount that, or any principal amount paid in as at 31st December 2022. So any amount after December 2022, so that is from January 2023 to date, that one you cannot apply. So the system has been enhanced. You can only apply up to December 2022. So amnesty application in iTax. In line with the legal changes specified above, the iTax system was enhanced and deployed to production on 1st October 2023. This caters for the following criteria of taxpayers. And criteria number 1, taxpayers with principal, penalties, and interest in iTax for various tax heads for periods up to and all beyond 31st December 2022. In such cases, the system will enable the taxpayer to apply for amnesty, which will only be approved upon settlement of principal taxes, but by 30th June 2024. So this one, I hope it's clear. So the taxpayers with the principal amount up to 31st December. So this one will be enabled to apply December 2022. So we'll be enabled to apply for this amnesty. And then the second categories will be for the taxpayers that have no outstanding principal taxes but with penalties and interest in iTax for periods up to and beyond 31st December 2022. The enhancement to address this category of taxpayers is currently undergoing deployment. So this one are late filing penalties where by the taxpayer forgot to file the returns, and this one will qualify. This one you don't need to apply in the system. So if you have only penalties and interest in the system, so this one you are not supposed to apply. This one will be done by the system. And currently all the TSOs were issued with rights to process the urgent cases. So if like now you want your case to be processed, you can now rush to a TSO and you'll get the amnesty immediately. So this was done added this month, from this month. And when you hear about principal, maybe some taxpayers may not understand. So they may not understand what is the principal amount. So when you hear the principal amount, this is the self-assessed tax. So if you do a self-assessment, so of course you declare you're supposed to, maybe through, if you are doing business, through your book of accounts. So you said this is the amount that this is the income that I got. So these are the expenses that I incurred. So that to arrive to a payable taxes. So that is self-assessment. So your original, that is from you as the taxpayer. So the self-assess, this is the only assessment that is done by the taxpayer. So all the others, they are done by the commissioner. So, and there are conditions that relate to this amnesty. And condition number one, amnesty cannot be initiated for periods with liability existing on principal tax for the selected tax obligation. So you are supposed to clear all the principal amount for you to benefit from the amnesty for that period. And condition number two, principal tax has to be cleared, yes, by that year, June 2024. The number of payment plan installments cannot therefore go beyond 30th June 2024. So if you apply for an amnesty, if you have the principal amount, so you can only pick up to from now maximum of, if maybe you apply today, you can only pick maximum of 6 installments, because any installments that go beyond remain unpaid after 30th June 2024, that one will not that period will not qualify for the amnesty, because as you are aware, the amnesty is granted per period, not per the obligation. So if you settle, if maybe you have VAT principal amount for example, January 2022 Feb 2022 and March 2022, and then you clear the principal amount for January 2022, and then for Feb 2022, and then for March 2022 remain unpaid after 30th June 2024. So you only qualify for the amnesty of January 2022 and Feb. So for March, you will not qualify even if you pay after 30th June 2024. Then condition number 3, the amnesty shall only be applicable for periods up to 31st December 2022, where all the pending principal taxes have been cleared. I think this one is cleared. This one has been repeated for clarity. So the first payment plan installment is due on the date of the amnesty application. So if you're applying for the amnesty today, you are supposed to make sure that you settle the first installment is due the date of the application of that amnesty. So condition number 5, any penalties and interest relating to the principal tax under the tax amnesty period that remains unpaid after 30th June 2024 shall not qualify for the amnesty. I think I have explained this one. And then condition number 6, upon default of the payment plan agreement without an acceptable explanation or a solution, enforcement measures shall be applicable. So this one it's like the way you are given the normal payment plan, you have been receiving a normal payment plan if you have tax liability. So there are consequences if you default a payment plan. So the first thing, that payment plan has to be cancelled, and then if you have existing tax compliance certificate, it's supposed to be revoked, and then you can be issued with an agency. So hope majority will not reach up to this point. So and then condition number 7, the taxpayer has to agree to the terms and conditions commit to honoring the payment plan agreement. So there is somewhere you tick the terms and conditions as read. Then step-by-step process. So all of us need to be keen. The first thing, you are supposed to log into your iTax. So you just put your PIN and then password and log in. Under the debt enforcement menu, select amnesty application. The system will populate the amnesty form with 2 sections. Section A, this one contains the taxpayer details, where the taxpayer should provide a correct mobile number, email, and amnesty details. So the amnesty details shall be populated upon selecting the obligation. All periods shall be auto-selected, but however, where a taxpayer disputes the amount being populated, they can uncheck the box, click add all. Do this for all the obligations. So this one, once you log in into your iTax profile, so you click where there is debt and enforcement. So when you click debt and enforcement, you will see somewhere written amnesty application. So when you click here debt and enforcement, you will see amnesty application. So and this part, or what you need to put, you are given a chance to put your mobile number. So here you can put, so this one is the PIN. Of course, the PIN will be populated plus the other details, PIN name and your TSO, but you are supposed to put your mobile number if it's not correct. So and then once you put that, So this is on applicant information. Then on amnesty details, you'll see tax obligations. So this one you can tick and for example of tax obligations we have, for example, income tax resident individual. So this one is an obligation for majority of us who are residents. So we have the obligation for income tax resident individual. So we also have income tax payee, for example, we have VAT, and we have MRI, monthly rental income. So unit is where you have liabilities. So for example, this case, we have income tax resident individual. So, and this taxpayer, in the income tax individual, the taxpayer has liability in periods from this is 2016, 2017, 2018, and year 2019. So you can see the principal tax as, for example, 2019, 13 million, 2018, 15 million, 2017, 10 million, and also 2016, 10 million, plus also interest. You can see the interest, because the interest is computed as 1%, a rate of 1% per month. So you can also see the penalties relating to this principal amount, and this is the total amount. So I can go to the next slide. So the added amnesty details shall be populated in section B. The taxpayer shall propose the number of installments and installment frequency. The iTax system shall compute the amount per installment. So once you add, so you'll get the details. So you only get the liabilities for the principal amount. So you can note this one. So once you apply, so you are only applying for a payment plan of principal amount. So once you click, you get the details of the principal amount. So amnesty payment plan details. So the total principal amount is 28 million. So 28 million, you are supposed to put, what you are supposed to put here is the number of installments. So you are supposed to put the number of installments. For example, if you want to clear with one installment, or two or three, you are supposed to put here. But now, as we have said, because we only have less than 6 months, you can only put, if maybe you are applying for today, you can only put up to 6 if you apply for amnesty today. But if you apply tomorrow, you only have 5 months, so you cannot put more than, you cannot put 7 installments here. So, and then installment frequency will be monthly. So the date of installment now will be the date that you are paying that installment. So that will be today or tomorrow, the date that you want to pay that amount. Then you are supposed to tick you agree to the terms and conditions. So this one we are going to, we'll go through the terms and conditions as we have highlighted there. And then you tick you agree to be able to submit. So then after that, you're supposed to click to agree to the terms and conditions and submit. The iTax system will generate an amnesty application acknowledgement with amnesty and payment plan details. So after you submit, you'll get an acknowledgement receipt that you have applied for the amnesty. So this one you have to, you're going to get the amount per installment, the number of installments, the date of the first installment, and the installment frequency you'll get in that acknowledgement, and also the details, the amnesty payment plan details. So for example, year 2018, 19, 2020, 2021, you are going to see the details there in that acknowledgement. And also this acknowledgement, it's important. For example, if you apply for the amnesty and you want for the amnesty payment plan and you want to request for like tax compliance certificate, and you have settled the first installment, so you can use this acknowledgement and then go to your tax service office and request for a tax compliance and continue settling the other installments. Also, I think it's this one. So you'll have PIN. So this is the acknowledgement slip that I'm talking about. So, for example, this one is Premier Tax, your station name, the acknowledgement, the amount per installment, the number of installments, the first installment date, installment frequency, and then the total principal tax amount for the proposed payment plan. So you'll see the breakdown because you only pay for the principal amount. Even now the system was enhanced. If you have a penalty that or interest that qualify for the amnesty, that you cannot pay. The system allow you to pay the principal amount only. So number 4, to generate payment slip, you click on the payment menu and select payment registration. Select the tax head and subhead you wish to generate payment. Click on the radio button and modify the amount to be paid equal to the principal amount. Note, the system will not allow generation of payment with amounts higher than the principal tax due. However, where the principal tax has decimal values, you're supposed to round off the amount to the nearest 1 shilling. Then you click Add Select Mode of Payment and Submit. So this one, after you do the application online, you see now this one you have not paid. What you have done is application. You have just applied, but you have not made any payment. So after making an application, what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to just note if, for example, the installment amount per installment, for example, here it's 5,744,285. So this one you generate the TRN the normal way you used to generate, like for example, if you want to pay any amount. So this one you are supposed to just generate the PRN and just edit the amount that you want to pay until you clear the principal amount for that particular period. So because you only be allowed to settle for the principal amount only. Uh-huh. Can continue. So you come the way we normally generate the payment slip. So you put PIN, it populate the other details. So your name and also your email and address. So you come and click here. So tax head, you click income tax. So because under income tax we have a tax subhead, we have income tax resident, we have income tax resident, individual and payee, CGT and the rest. So you only pick for the income tax resident because you are paying for income tax resident individual. So type of payment type, self-assessment, because we said this is the assessment that you did. So you self-assessed yourself that I owe KRA this amount and you agreed and you submitted. So you only paid that amount. You click self-assessment tax. And then here for the period, you select the period that you want to pay. So for example, if it's 2019, you click this button. Then if you click here, you'll be enabled to edit here and pay the amount that you want to pay. So you click the other one, so and edit the amount that you want to pay until you clear the principal amount. So last but not least, once the payment has been received in the iTax system, the iTax system shall vacate the respective penalties and interest for the period and issue an amnesty certificate. So this one, if you submit, if you clear all the principal amount, you'll get an amnesty certificate that indicates the amount that of penalty or interest that have been vacated, the period, and also the tax obligation. Lukunda, I'm done with the presentation. You can check the questions that are in the chat.
Thank you. I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes.
We have questions on the chat box. So if everyone is comfortable, we can
Yes.
start the Q&A session.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, we can start the Q&A session. You could get to choose some of the questions that are frequently asked on your side. Can you see the chat box, Mr. Samuel?
Yes, I can see the chat box.
Yes.
So where do we start, from up or bottom?
We can start from the bottom as we go up.
So I only pick for the amnesty because I'm seeing some of the questions that are general, but I will see. Good morning. I can start from. What happens if one defaults first date of installment? So there is a question from Bill Graham. Then what program do you have to those that had penalties after 31st December 2022? There is no program for that because, as we said, in the current law, there is no provision for waivers. So if you have any debt after 31st December 2022 that is due and payable, whether it is interest, penalties, or fine. I can see there are many questions. We start from up, going down, because I'm reading, then they disappear. So, and how to go about it?
We can start from the top.
From the top.
Yes, because I can
So
see
there
that
is,
it's quite, yeah.
oh yeah, there is a question from Jane. Does the
Yes.
amnesty apply to those who have not been filing their returns, or it's just for those who have already filed? This is a very good question. This one apply to all. So this one, all you need to know, you are supposed to file all the returns. Actually, we are telling people to make sure they file your returns. Even if you file all your returns today, you have not been filing, because we have even some instances whereby the taxpayer, since the time of registration of the PIN, and even some of the PINs, they are before even iTax. So you can find you can find some bigger cases. So if you file all the returns up to date, you are supposed to qualify for the amnesty up to December 2022. So that one is clear. Kuna ubaguzi hapo. So what about when closing? We close with the Muslim kind of prayer. So I think this is a request to you. So kindly record the meeting. Granting amnesty. So thanks for granting us taxpayers the tax amnesty. How do we go about getting amnesty on fines and interest for withholding tax? So this one we said we just highlighted the categories of the taxpayer who will not qualify for the amnesty, and we said that if all the penalties and interest relating to the tax debts accrued after the period after 31st December 2023. So, and also the category that fall under section 37, 87, 88, section 85 of the Tax Procedures Act. And this is tax avoidance penalty. So all the others, so what you need to know is the period, and also if it's not under the tax avoidance, so the rest you are supposed to qualify. And we said that you can rush to any of your nearest tax service office, KRA office, for assistance. So please put the presentation in full. Okay, so that one was done. So everyone, I would recommend of having these meetings via Zoom. It's not, so that one is sorted. This is. So the other question, okay, so so just for clarification, those of us who had penalties before December 2022, are we waived, or waiver or amnesty applies for December 2022? So this one, because the waiver was now we are not processing any waivers, so you are going to qualify. They will qualify for the amnesty up to December 2022. So so is it only income tax or all taxes pay VAT? So this one I said it's for all tax obligations. So how to apply tax amnesty without principal? So this one I said if you don't have principal amount, you don't need to apply. This one it will be done automatically by the system. And also I said that from the beginning of this month, all the TSOs were issued with the rights to process, to initiate the amnesty for the urgent cases. So if you have, and if you feel that you want your amnesty right now, you can rush to it. TSO, and then it will be processed immediately. So where are we supposed to apply for the amnesty if we do not have any principal? So this one I have explained. Do you need to apply if you don't have any principal amount? You don't. Kindly explain if I qualify for the amnesty for penalty and fine if I file returns for period before December. Now you qualify 100%. So what if the company is on special table? So this one is special category. So, but special table it's for the, it's not, it's from for the period we have the ones that were put on 2023 and then 2022. I think this one you are supposed to see your compliance manager. But if you incur any penalty, so there is a provision for this one. So this one I will not explain so much in details. Then some of us have received amnesty certificates. What are we supposed to do with them? The penalties and the interest are still reflecting on iTax even after settling principal amounts. Kindly advise. So for this one, if you receive an amnesty certificate, that means your penalties and interest have been waived. So if you still have an issue, you are supposed to visit your nearest TSO, and this one can be escalated to the people deal with the system for resolution. So you are not supposed to worry. So we have erroneous entries by KRA for 2014, and despite sending documents on numerous occasions, it never gets cleared. So this one, if you have, it's related to the penalties. If you have numerous entries, so I don't, so numerous entries. So this one, I'm not sure what the taxpayer meant for numerous entries. But if it's something that was done erroneously by the system, so this one is supposed to be cleared from our side if it was done by the system. So you can, it's the high time you are supposed to rush, then it will be sorted. Then another question, if I was not doing business for a period and failed to file new returns and ended up being penalized, is there any payment to be made? This one, no, if you are not doing any business, that means you had nothing to declare and you are supposed to file new returns. And if you file new returns, you are going to benefit from amnesty for the penalties and interest. So what of interest accruing because of your inaction to update the iTax ledger? So also this one will qualify. So iTax ledger. What about for employers who only have payee penalties but no principal tax? The system is not allowing anyone to apply. So this one is explained. So that one will be done by the system. From our side, you don't need to apply. Then we have a question from David. I keep getting an error when I apply for amnesty. Amnesty cannot be initiated since no liability exists for principal tax. In the amnesty period for the selected tax obligation, your office told me it would happen automatically. Is that the true position? Yes, this is true. If you don't have any principal amount, you are not supposed to do it online. So this one will qualify automatic. So another question. I have penalty for late filing of annual return. When I try to apply for amnesty, I get the following message: amnesty cannot be initiated. Yes, this one. You have explained this one. Cannot be initiated. A question from Timothy. So is it possible to share via email, please? So I have a penalty of 2,000 for late filing, yet I was and have been filing new returns. I tried to apply for a waiver but I was told to visit head office. How do I do about it? So this one will qualify if the penalty relates to period up to December 2022 prior. Then the other question, how can I get compliance if I have penalty of income tax for of 2022? This one you will get it from your tax service office. So this one is clear. You don't have to worry about it. I only have penalties going beyond December 2022. Will I qualify for the amnesty? So this one will not qualify for the amnesty because it's not provided in the current law. So someone is saying I have had nothing for conditions. Conditions. Okay, so that one we can come to that. I have cleared 2.5 M principal. Must I apply for waiver? So I said there are no waivers. So this one will qualify if it relates to the penalties and interest before December 2022. I have penalties, but when trying to apply for the amnesty, it's telling me I don't have the obligation. So that's why I think, Andrew, you meant.
Mr. Samuel, you're
Okay,
breaking on
so
your side.
yes,
You are breaking on your side. I
so
hope
I'm
you can hear
breaking.
right. Yes.
Yeah, I'm okay.
We have actually 10 minutes to go.
Okay, so I rush through the questions. And,
Yes.
so I can see most of majority of the questions they are similar,
Yes,
and
they
you
are
have
similar.
explained. Yeah, yeah,
Yes. So we can end the session right now.
yes,
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel Njuguna. You have
yes,
been an amazing facilitator. We have gotten to learn what tax amnesty is, who is supposed to apply for the tax amnesty, and when the tax amnesty is going to come to an end. I'd like to really try and inform the taxpayers in regards to tax amnesty on the 30th of June. That is when the deadline is for applying the tax amnesty. I hope each and every individual has gotten that part. It's quite a very important part to note while trying to learn about the tax amnesty. And I hope that you have been able to enjoy this session with our facilitator, Mr. Samuel Njuguna. Thank you so much. You've been able to just join and you've taken your time to present to us in regards to tax amnesty. And for all the taxpayers, I'd like to thank you once again for you to just you've just taken your time to join this session once again on tax amnesty. And I'd like to inform you in regards to this presentation, you can get this content on our website, our KRA TV. You can find us on YouTube, on KRA TV, and you can also find us on our social media pages. On Instagram, we have Stories of Ushuru, and we have on Facebook, KRA TV. Thank you so much. I have been your moderator for today. I'm yours, Lukundo Wamaningo.
we can't hear you.
Mr. Samuel?
Yes. Okay, I was saying we can't hear you. You are
Oh,
breaking.
oh, I was breaking.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Well, once again, I'd like to thank you for you as our facilitator. You've taken your time to just inform us on tax amnesty, what tax amnesty is, when is the deadline for applying tax amnesty, and I'd really like to inform our taxpayers in regards to tax amnesty. Kindly note that 30th of June is the deadline. That's a very important part in regards to tax amnesty. As you're trying to inform your fellow taxpayers or your neighbors at home or your workmates at work, kindly inform them that tax amnesty deadline is on the 30th of June. And also for the taxpayers who've taken their time to join this tax amnesty training, I'd like to thank you and welcome you once again to our other training sessions that we have on a day-to-day basis, depending on the tax issue that we get to talk about. And I'm very delighted to be your moderator for today's session. I am Lukundo Wamaningo from Tax Education. Have a wonderful afternoon and a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you.